What's up, Kris?
What's up?
I don't
Nice
know.
to meet you.
I'm still wondering about this grape aid that you got. You know, you had like 17 choices of drinks in the back there to choose from, and you chose grape.
I think they all taste like flavored water, so I went for purple because I was feeling like I think purple is gonna taste good.
I like
today.
you did it like you did it just by the color. Like that's how kids pick out ice cream.
Yeah,
They come in and they're like the pink one right there.
The
Like
pink
that's
one.
they want the color.
I want the purple Gatorade today.
Oh god,
Purple Gatorade.
tastes like cough syrup. I hate that flavor. That's the worst.
I don't like purple Gatorade.
What was your go-to Gatorade?
Oh, it had to be red for sure.
Oh, the red Gatorade.
Oh, red, dude. Yeah,
I was a light blue Gatorade. Was the go-to.
Well, then the silver came
What
out,
that
or the
means.
whatever the ice.
Oh, that was
when the white one came
the
out.
blue frost or
Oh,
whatever.
yeah.
I'm so much
Yeah.
older than you guys. When I was a kid, we had 3 colors.
Yeah, yellow Gatorade, orange Gatorade.
Orange,
Back
yellow,
in
and
my
red.
day.
Yeah, which one do you want?
Like when you had square wheels, huh?
We had square wheels. Well, Kris, I screwed up, and usually before we hit the record button, so that I can properly introduce you, I get a little bit of background information on you. I failed to do so, so we're just gonna
No,
wing
I'm
it on this.
introducing.
Oh,
No.
you're introducing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, we get a rare but exciting Spencer Southey introduction of our podcast
Can't
guest
wait
today.
to hear it.
That's
Build
very
me
exciting.
up.
Just build it up. Get
Very
it pumped.
exciting.
I need some music. We need to get like
Yeah,
like
it's
his
like
little
we'll do
theme song.
we'll do a little Alan Parsons project, bum, 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 dun, 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 dun. Little like Chicago Bulls intro music.
Yeah, I mean it won't be as good as Casey's, but it'll be
Edgar!
okay.
It'll be great. It'll be great.
Before we get into that, what episode is this again?
This has to be somewhere in the 20-ish, 20 range.
20-ish.
20-ish.
Well, let's just call it like 21.2.
20 adjacent.
You know? Professional score.
Yeah, 20 adjacent, 21-2.
Well, no, welcome. Rooted in Idaho, episode 21.2.
Sounds great.
Okay, real people,
like it.
real stories, real Idaho. We
what
have
we're
Kris
about.
Miller here today, president of Empire Title.
Correct.
Right? Is that right?
That's right.
Okay, local guy.
Local.
Done a lot of things in your life that led to this, and today we're going to get into it. Learn a little bit more about Kris.
Well, I like it.
Okay.
When
What
we
do you-
say
what do you wanna
local,
know?
when we say local, how local we talking?
Yeah,
Born and
well-
raised?
Born and raised.
Boise, Idaho?
No, I wasn't raised in Boise. I was born in eastern Idaho and then grew up in Mountain Home.
True Idahoan.
True Idaho. He's seen it all.
Yeah, yep.
From
and
east to west.
lucky kid. My dad had a job offer from Pokey to go to Elko, Nevada, or Mountain Home, and I have to say I think Mountain Home was the right choice, and
Yeah.
I'm glad we stayed.
So you were born in Idaho Falls or in Pocatello? Pocatello.
Yeah, Bannock County Hospital.
All right.
Wow.
Did you the two nicknames? I haven't spent that much time in Pocatello, but I hear it as referred to as Pocahellhole or Shitatello. Do you have that?
Well, I
That-
have family that still lives there,
So
so
you
I'm
gotta
just
say that
gonna-
you
I'm
love
just gonna call it Pokey.
You're just gonna sit this one out.
I've heard
huh?
Pocafella, but no, it's I moved away when I was 3, but I went back all
Okay.
the time. And I think one of the things when you're a kid, like I didn't know I was growing up in Mountain Home, right? Like I'd never lived anywhere else, so it wasn't like I had anything to compare it to. So
Yeah.
my childhood, I thought Mountain Home was awesome. We had the
Yeah.
reservoir and right there by the Anderson Dam and the fishing
Yeah.
and the shooting guns and the riding dirt bikes and just go do kid stuff. And
Heck yeah.
Yeah,
Was your dad like Air Force or?
no, Frito-Lay
Okay.
delivery driver.
Okay.
So he delivered potato chips to all the stores.
Wow.
Mom was a special ed teacher.
Wow. And she worked in Mountain Home too when she got a job there?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, she stayed at home till my brother got into elementary school and then went to work there.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I mean, growing up as a kid too, Mountain Home, I mean, it's kind of probably hidden. It's not so hidden now, but Pine and Featherville,
Yeah,
it's like
that
one of
used
my,
to be.
that's like a hidden gem. It was.
Yeah, it used to be for sure.
How far is Pine from Mountain Home?
About a hour and a half.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 It's like Idaho City, but just in a different location in a sense. More
Well,
mountainous. and
when
that
you
kind
get a
of
big
thing.
body of water, you can boat on,
Yep.
fish on. You know, they don't have that in Idaho City.
Yeah.
That's one thing they're missing.
Yeah. We said earlier you're a little bit older than us. So, I mean, what'd you do back then? Like, sticks and rocks, or what'd you do for fun?
Well, we made bow and arrows out of sticks, yeah, and no, it just a lot of hunting and fishing and sports and all the things that I think most kids did growing up there.
How big was Mountain Home then compared to now? Because I think Mountain Home's grown quite a bit in the last.
It
However,
has it has grown. I want to say the population was around 5,000 when I was there.
Okay.
Yeah,
Any idea
Not-
what it is now? I don't know what it is now.
I don't know. I'd have to
No, I have to go back
wagers
and look.
getting at 15,000, but that doesn't
Yeah.
include the base. And so that was the thing when I was a kid. The air base, if it was expanding, we had a lot more people. Our sports teams were more competitive. We did really good. And then if they contracted, then it was like some of our best friends and players got sent back to Texas or wherever. And then it was like, oh, now we're losing again.
Yeah. It's probably an interesting aspect that I've never thought of living in a, like a military town, right?
Yeah.
Is just the coming and going of friends and families and things like that.
I had a really, really good friend, and we were friends for 6 years. And then he's like, oh, my dad's getting transferred. I have to leave in a couple of weeks. I'm like, what?
That sucks.
I never saw him again. There's no Facebook or,
Yeah. So you graduated high school in from Mountain Home, right?
I did, yeah. Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers. Yeah. Give it the Ed Ogeron.
Right.
What's the chant? Let's go.
I think it's just Go Tigers.
It was like
Welcome to the jungle.
Ed Ogeron, the former football coach at LSU, did like the Go Tigers. He has like that voice like this. He's like, Go Tigers.
It's a small town, government teachers, your football coach.
Yeah, the whole thing. Well, you live in Eagle now, but how do you go from Mountain Home to Eagle? Like, what made you come to this part of the valley rather than going anywhere else?
Boise State.
Okay.
Yep. Came for Boise State, and then I ended up getting a job while I was going to school for pre-optometry, and I got a job at a title company doing data entry, which was the most mind-numbing job anyone could ever do. It's called lien searches, and you put in a person's name, social security number, hit the mouse, watch the little hourglass spin, searches the database, hit print, then do the next one, and then it just was, that's what I did all day. But it paid the bills through school and got me in the business.
Yeah.
Now, wait, so what'd you go to school for? What would you say earlier?
Pre-optometry.
Pre-optometry.
He's going to be an optometrist.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, man. I had glasses growing up, and the eye doctor in town had a pretty nice house and car. Looked like a good life. I was like, I could do that job, look at people's eyes all day.
Say which one looks better? Option 1, option 2. And you're like, can I see option 1 again?
Yeah, right. But yeah, I got into the title business. I saw the sales guys, and they were driving nice cars, and they played golf all day and went out to eat. And I said, well, I actually want to do that job. Yeah. So I changed the major to marketing. And
a little easier.
Yeah, well, and I loved it. Like, that's when you found something you love. It was really hard to do all of the medical terminology and anatomy and physiology and chemistry classes. Like, it was hard for me to get into it. And then when I changed to marketing, like, I couldn't put those books down. I was like, psychology, the way people think, the whole idea behind creating and selling something.
Just a lot more interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Kind of caught you. So how long did you do the data entry for? It was just all through college?
No, I was so good at it. After like 9 months, they promoted me to the open order guy.
Oh, wow.
So, I would enter the contracts that come over, and I'd enter all the details. That was back when you're hitting, like, F keys to get places, and it was pretty crazy. And then I did that, and guess what? I was really good at that, too, and knew a lot about – and I was going into marketing, and they had a marketing assistant position open up. So I'd been there, like, a year and a half, and I threw my hat in the ring and beat a couple veterans out for the job. The sales manager was like, I think this kid's got it. I knew the technology. I was – into web coding at the time was new, like the internet and email just came out.
What year is this? Help us. Not to
age
yourself.
I know, it'd be 99.
Okay.
99.
Yeah, .com era begins.
Okay. Woo. So you were kind of early to the .com. You saw the wave.
Early adopter. The company I worked for was TransNation Title, and I went on and bought TransNation and TransNationTitle.com.
Yeah.
And then I got a call from the corporate attorney like 3 months later. Hey, you're going to need to give those to us. I said, well, what are you going to pay me for them? I'm like, well, we're not going to fire you if you do. I was like, okay, here you go.
You didn't leverage that out?
I was like 19 years old.
Oh, dang.
I was just buying them for our local website. I wasn't trying to think ahead of the game, but in hindsight, yeah.
So that was like this was like a local branch of a national company?
Correct, yeah.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
God, yeah. Couldn't that be cool, too, if you would have thought about that ahead of time to go buy, like, Nike.com?
Well, people did. I remember that. People did. They bought, like, Coca-Cola or Pepsi.com, and then they ended up winning and getting paid for it.
Yeah.
Good business model.
Right?
There's definitely some people who have made a lot of money doing that. Or, like, I can't remember what it was, but I remember reading a story about a guy who did stuff, bought and sold domain names and whatever, and some really big company incidentally let their domain registration lapse by like a day. and this guy caught it, and so he just snatched it up when it was like $14 or whatever because it was available.
Yeah.
And the company went, "Oh crap," you know, and then he's like, "Well,
Well,
Where's
for the
Jeremy
low,
and IT?
for the low price of $1 million, you can have it back." You know?
a million one.
Yeah, $1 billion. Little Dr. Evil action. That's so funny.
So how was BSU back when you were in college? Like, how was Boise in that way?
Oh, that's a great question.
It was small. The campus still felt pretty small. I
Yeah.
did a year at a JC before that, and that one was really small. But yeah, Boise State, it was easy to park. I mean, you could park on, you could and walk.
Yeah.
I lived right by the university. That was a lot of fun. You know, the
Yeah.
college experience. A couple roommates that were really dirty, but
As most college boys'
guys
houses are.
But yeah, no, it was small, and the team was just starting to like become something. They weren't there yet, but we were starting to like feel like, okay, we're getting this new coaches and things were happening. We were winning more, and it wasn't like packed stadiums yet, but you could tell like Boise State when I was going there, like they're
Is that like the
getting
Dan?
bigger.
Is that like the Dan Hawkins era?
Correct? Yeah.
Yeah, like I feel like Dan Hawkins was like the first coach that like really started to build the program.
Like there were no tailgate parties, like nothing like we
Yeah.
have now.
Yeah.
And our company ended up like bringing a U-Haul with a big screen down, and like I feel like we had like the first big tailgate, 300 beers and
Yeah.
wristbands and all this food, and and then it just getting bigger and
Continued
bigger.
to grow
Now it's
from there.
Yeah. No,
Well,
it's-
I remember like 'cause I grew up here, and I went to Boise State for like a semester and a half, I guess, at one point. I transferred a bunch, and it was like easy to park even then, but Boise State when I was growing up, it felt more like a commuter school, right? Like
yeah, it totally did.
It was a commuter school. It was like a lot of people. They had a mix of like
Yeah.
kind of your more traditional undergrads, but it was a lot of people who lived and worked in Boise who were like getting their degrees later in life, right? It wasn't this like it wasn't
No,
what it is now in terms of like
I remember
young student population and the whole thing.
I remember thinking there's a guy in his 40s in one of my classes. I'm like, man, that guy's so old.
But that's kind of what Boise State was for a long
Yeah.
time was, and like I think it's interesting, people who now see what Boise State is and kind of assume, and it is really ingrained in the community in Boise, but it wasn't always kind of that way. At least growing up here, I never thought of Boise as like a college town.
Yeah.
Even I grew up here and like Boise State was there, but it didn't have like that college town feel where on game days, the city was all about like Boise State football. It was kind of like, oh yeah, there's a college here.
yeah.
But like
Yeah.
that's not really what the city's about. And like now things have changed so much with the success of the program in Boise State and everything like that.
Yeah, I
It's-
agree.
Well, especially we don't have any like professional sports teams, right? Really.
Totally.
So it's like BSU is natural fit, and as it grows. When did the blue field come about?
Gosh, man, you asked me a hard question. It was in the 80s.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah, it was in the 80s. It was a kind of a gimmick that turned into a trademark.
Yeah.
That turned into an iconic field.
It definitely. Yeah.
So yeah, but it's my cousins played for different universities like Idaho and ISU, and man, we grew up hating the Broncos. They were all in that same division, and
Same. My whole family went to University of Idaho. I went to College of Idaho primarily, but same thing. I was like, even though I lived in Boise, we were big like Vandal fans,
Yeah.
and I antagonized all the Boise State fans and people in my school. Go Vandals kind of thing. But
I know now it's like we can all be friends again because there's no
Yeah.
rivalry.
I don't know. For sometimes it feels like high school. There's people.
not my dad. My dad will never down the blue and orange.
I think it's the
Old
BSU.
school.
I think it's the BSU fans just don't get into it anymore. Like
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
No, it's it's crazy. A lot of change here in the valley, but I think it still has the essence of what Boise still is and wants to be, right?
Yeah, no, I've got a lot of friends that have moved here, and in the work that we do with people moving here and signing closing documents, I jumped into a signing the other day, young family, and they just said, I don't think you know how blessed you are to live here. We come from, I can't remember, some part of California. They go, it is so nice to go grocery shopping and not be looking over our shoulder and worried about walking to the parking lot. And that's just something no one here has had to experience in their life growing up.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine.
Yeah. And then I hope it stays that way for a long time. I feel like we've got a good culture in Boise that people adapt to, and so the sore thumbs stick out.
Well, I see it a lot too, especially with what I do and helping people with houses and buying and selling them. It's like we had what, again, don't quote me on the number, but about what, 500,000 people about 10 years ago,
Yeah.
and now we're just under 1 million. So like almost half of the people that we have that live here now are from another state. They relocated. So it's like you have people that have lived here, then you have new people. And I think what I see a lot is the assimilation in the sense of these groups of like appreciative of where they are. So it's like that sense of community is not just the people that are here, but also the people that moved here.
I guess the concern is what's the next generation that grew up here going to take it for granted.
Right? No, I get that. Especially as it grows, because it's an awesome spot with all the outdoor activity and everything we have going on here.
Oh yeah, no, it is. We were up in McCall for the 4th. It was amazing. And
Yeah, thanks for the invite.
well, I thought I texted you.
I think, yeah.
No, and then there's a music festival in Stanley this weekend we're head up to, and Stanley is beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How was the 4th up in McCall this year? Was it just insanity?
Talk about something that has changed over the years.
Yeah.
Man, McCall has always been busy in my childhood, right?
Yep.
But that's something else. Like the people, the traffic, how long it takes to get around town. Just the mob of people around the lake, the boats. It's just chaotic.
Yeah.
Like combat parking at Albertsons to get a bag of ice.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, they've kind of clamped down too on the partying, right? Because what was it? North Shore used to be kind of like crazy on the
MTV spring break. Kind
Yeah,
of vibe.
I remember when I was in high school or college, you'd go up to McCall for the 4th of July, and it's like the North Shore would be like the spot, like just crazy party spot.
Yeah.
And now they're kind of they've really kind of tried to clamp down on like no alcohol on North Shore and things like that to just rein it in because it is such a popular spot. I mean, it's the perfect place to spend 4th of July. Realistically, it's amazing, but it's so crowded during that.
It's everything. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Even the Boise River, I floated it on the 4th of July. I mean, I got there at noon. I think it took me an hour and a half just to get a tube.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. So we just bring our own tubes.
Well, I know, right? That's the pro tip. Again, I was wrong for the ride. I was like, hey, let's just go buy some river rats for $20 so I can blow them up and go. And oh no, we need a boat. So an hour and a half later and a couple grape sodas, and I'm good to go.
I remember one time we went and Walmart had a sale on a inflatable raft. A 2-man raft, so we bought that thing, and then we got done, and we didn't want to deflate it, and just gave it to some kids.
Okay, yeah.
You guys want a raft?
That's
well, last time I did it with a river rat, it popped.
Oh,
It lost air, so I was like, I had to actually pull off the river and have someone come pick me up. So
I've been there before many times. Yeah. have the old raft pop on the Boise River, but I haven't floated the river in a while. How was it? Was it good?
Yeah, it was great.
Like 2 hours?
I think it was. I think so.
I think so.
Yeah, that hour and a half wait, a little bit of sun. I was having a good time.
And a couple grape sodas. Spencer doesn't remember the raft.
Hey, I was friendly, man. I was happy with everybody.
And having that river close is nice. Like one of our favorite things in downtown Eagle to do is with friends and kids. We just take lawn chairs right down to the river, put them in, and cooler and a speaker, and let the kids play and fish and just hang out and get some sun. And
How long have you been in Eagle?
Moved into downtown Eagle coming up on 4 years ago.
Okay. Where were you at before that?
Up at Boise, over by HP, and then the other side, south side of Boise.
Okay. So you kind of lived in several different pockets of the Treasure Valley over the years.
Yeah, and I was talking to someone today who just moved to Eagle from the south side of the freeway, and I said, isn't it funny how a freeway, when you live over there, it's like a giant river you don't want to cross? People are like, oh, man, that's on the other side of the freeway.
Well, that's the hardest part, right? North to south to get get access. It's a whole nother world.
Right, yeah.
Well, good. So you got here to Boise. What was the company again?
Transnation.
Title. And then did they change ownership a few times?
Yeah, they did. They changed to Land America Transnation, then straight Land America. And then they weren't good with their 1031 department and use of funds. They would invest that money, and then it got called due. I don't know the whole story, but anyway, they got parceled up and bought up. But I had left them. I ended up going and had an opportunity to go to First American for a year. Just wasn't my fit, and then went to a smaller company, Lawyers Title, local title company, and really liked it. But that's when the mortgage boom was taking off.
Yeah.
And I was making really good money, but every commission check I was handing out was like, wow, That's like more than I make in a month on one deal. Are you kidding me?
It's like the Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah. And so I was like, I could do that job. So I bailed and got into mortgages and rode that wave. Did a lot of fun stuff with Tamarack, preferred lender for Tamarack. And
yeah. Well, so you went to the lending for a while. What brought you back to title again?
Oh, this thing called the recession started, and you lose everything, and you need a real job. I actually did some property and casualty insurance for a minute, and then went to work for Key Bank.
Yeah,
which I loved that because in my opinion, life is always about being educated and learning and growing, right? And so to be on the lending side and understand the underwriting, the documents, and why things are done the way they are there, and then to go into property and casualty insurance, and then into banking, and business banking and branch management. And then I got recruited to go into title, and it was funny when they asked me. He said, "Hey, we need some help in sales. Would you ever be interested in getting back in the business?" And I said, "What do you mean, make more money than I am now and play golf again? When can I start?"
It was a tough sell for them.
It was a tough sell.
Yeah. Casey's an okay golfer, right, Kasey?
I hit it okay sometimes. Here and there.
Yeah.
Like most golfers, it's like some good shots, some bad shots, right?
Yeah, the consistency is really what's keeping me out of the tour right now.
Yeah. I know. It's like you hit some and you're like, if I could just hit it like that every time, I'd be on tour, right?
Right?
Yeah.
Everybody wants to feel like Tiger for one shot around, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it brings you back.
That's the other thing that's changed here, golf.
Oh man, it's so hard to get a freaking tee time, isn't it?
Well, and they keep chopping up the golf courses, and my big fear is that there are some planned in the future. Potentially, I think they'll go throughout in the Star area, but they take away Foxtel. They're talking, there's some courses they're cutting up. I'm a member at River Club, and while I'm excited about the course redesign and how nice the course is going to be, it's like, well, there goes another chunk of history in golf, and played that hole 10 down State Street for the last time. It's kind of like, man, it's sad.
Yeah. When's it gonna be done?
They're cooking right along. They'll be ready to golf in the beginning of next year. Yeah, the turf's
you
coming
still have
in
your
great.
membership, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You're not in the know on when the.
No, I haven't been. Yeah, I've been busy.
Yeah,
I joined. I'm like, I'm gonna use it, and then no, I've been doing the simulators. We go to the barn and stuff.
Yeah,
but
the pool's fun.
I agree. I it used to be Plantation, and then now it's River Club. But that is definitely a piece of Boise golf history. That's that was a fun track. So I grew up. I was a Warm Springs kid, so I grew up in Southeast Boise and worked at Warm Springs from the time I was like 14 to 22. And
I loved Warm Springs when I was going to Boise State. That was so much fun.
I still love Warm
Golfing
Springs.
barefoot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, super casual, of course.
3 guys sharing one set of clubs because that's all.
Yeah.
They didn't care.
No, they didn't care.
No, I love Warm. I'm the new clubhouse is awesome, but I'm old Warm Springs. I'm like sometimes I love the new clubhouse. It's incredible. What they did with the now 18th hole, but what used to be 9. You got the patio that overlooks it and everything. It's really cool, but there's something about that those 2 double wide trailers hitched together as the pro shop that was just had a nice public golf course feel.
Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
Hey, they had beer too, though. So right. So,
yeah. Oh yeah.
What more do you need?
That was a good place to grow up. That was speaking of the river. That was like for years. We would my friends and I had passes, junior passes at Warm Springs. So like one of our moms would drop us off at Warm Springs in the morning. We'd play like 18, 27, 36 holes. And then we'd leave and we'd go float the river and just like dive for golf balls along where Warm Springs goes by the river. We'd dive for golf balls, get as many as we could. And then that was like just rinse and repeat. We did that every day for most of my childhood. It was a good time.
Look at that. Entrepreneur, huh? From a young
we
age.
didn't sell the golf balls. We just
What?
No, we used them. We played golf every day. You lose
money,
golf
right?
balls.
It's all right.
You lose a lot of golf balls and you play golf every day. Back then, I used to hit it straight though. That's not the best part of my game anymore.
Well, hey, I know Kasey usually introduces a lot of people, so I might have messed this up, Kris. But for those who don't know, title insurance and title.
Correct.
I know some people bought houses, some haven't. Can you give us a little insight about title and what it does?
Yeah, so I like to break it down at title insurance is not like regular insurance that insures you against things that are going to happen in the future.
Yeah.
It insures about things that could impact your ownership from the past. And it's also a one-time premium. It's not something you keep paying for. And all kinds of things can impact your ownership. Boundary line dispute, you buy a house and then the neighbor goes, hey, just so you know,
Yep.
I'm going to take 3 feet of your backyard that's legally mine, and you thought that you owned it. And or I think a lot of stuff with when people die, if they don't have things set up the right way, a hidden heir out there that could come back and say, no, I was owed part of this property. There's easements, there's mechanics liens, judgments that we might have missed, or just not the person's mortgage not getting paid off all the way, and then they come back and try to start foreclosure, and title insurance will step in and say, no, we insured that, we didn't, whatever happened. And I mean, we had one where it was like a $50,000 solar claim because we didn't catch the UCC filing.
Yeah.
Right?
It's a lot of back end stuff that people don't realize that's going on.
Yeah.
And I know across the country, it's always been 2 things. It's either you're an attorney state or a title company state for how you close on your property. Why did that come about? Do you have any info on that? I was curious about that.
Yeah, no, just the history of it, right?
Yeah.
Lawyers win. They win that out, and they still do what we do. They still research it. They still work with an underwriter on the insurance side. So they're still backed by a big national company.
Gotcha.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah, they're just approved through that underwriter to do the title insurance.
Yeah. Man, yeah, because I get the fun job, right? I got to go show houses and have people go around, and you're in the background doing that. But it's definitely an important thing, right? And having a good team and people around you to do it.
Yeah, no, and it's the 2 parts. It's the escrow side too, where that's where all the instruction, all the money comes in and goes out and has to be balanced out to 0, and everybody's got to get paid. And so, and we've got to be that, what they call the uninvolved third party that doesn't pick sides, because we get hit up a lot. No, you need to do it this way. I'm like, no, we have to stick to what the contract says, and make sure that that everything gets paid off. And end of the day, it's
like the unsung hero of the transaction.
Right, and it is stressful.
Title and escrow, the unsung hero of the housing transaction.
No, just kidding.
Yeah, I don't think people realize how stressful it can be when things are coming down the pipe and we're not getting information we need, or and we're the ones everyone's looking at, like, why isn't this going to close? What's wrong? And we say we're waiting on somebody, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We've got to get it done.
We all know it's the lender's fault, right?
Right. No, blame. No, I'm not talking. I think lenders are having challenges right now. I think there's some definite staffing issues with lenders. Not on the back office side, we're seeing a lot of some turnover and a struggle with some of the lenders and their service and turn times, and the employees understanding why we need what we need or what their job is. And
well, and then title in general, I mean, okay, you have attorneys and then you have title companies, but like across the board nationally, is there a national standard for things, or can states, can impose certain things that are different from state to state?
Yeah, so we all operate by the American Land Title Association best practices. And then each state has their own Department of Insurance. So we're a licensed insurance company. Yeah. And we fall under the Department of Insurance. And then we have a whole set of legislation regulations that have passed on everything we can and can't do for, inducement stuff, all the way down to solvency and what we have to have for a bond and all that other stuff. And we get audited every 5 years, which is a lot of fun. And then pretty much every year by one of our auditors. It's like always an audit going on. So that's why title companies, that trust fund is locked up, man. It's looked at all the time. People's money is safe with a title and escrow company.
Yeah.
That's
interesting.
crazy.
When you see, when you don't meet closings, or like when something falls through at the last minute, what are the typical things that, like, what do you see frequently that like causes something that looks like, hey, we bought this house, we're closing on this day.
About a million phone calls, include one from me. What the just happened?
The loaded question. I think there's a couple main
biggest things to look out for.
Yeah, one of them is when you're in a train of transactions, right? Like these people are selling their house to these buyers, and they're using that money to buy this house, and these people are using that money to buy this house, and they're all trying to close within a day or two of each other. And the problem is the last person in the train generally runs up against a Friday afternoon. They've got their moving truck, they've got no place to stay, they need to get in the house, and it's like go time. And and we're at the mercy of the Federal Reserve for the wires. If we pass wire cutoff time, the county recorders only can record up to a certain time. So like every minute starts to count. It's like, it gets intense, man.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
crazy. You sell these things up, and it is a last minute thing. It feels like all the time. That's why no Mondays or Fridays for closings,
Yeah.
if I can avoid it. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, if you can do it, because it's inevitable. And like you said, you get multiple transactions where like one person is buying the house here, they're selling theirs. That fund needs to get there, and then those people are maybe selling theirs. And you have like a three-way
and
transaction.
all of it, you know, the
It's
loan docs
insane.
have to go back for review, then the wires release, and then
Balance taxes.
And you're probably working with that different people are all
Yeah,
working
and-
with
and
different
it's not-
title
yeah, so,
companies
yeah.
and different lenders, and so
Yeah.
it's like,
And it's
yeah.
funny because you'll hear someone out in the bullpen yell, "We got the wire! Hit record!
Hit record!"
Dive and hit the button. We did it!
Yeah.
Dude, we should do like a day in the life of title, right? See if we
Yeah.
can make it great there.
Well, I think it is, you know, as someone, I'm not in real estate at all, right? And so it's interesting to, like I said, like like everyone knows the realtors because they're kind of their names outside the house, right?
Right.
Or they're the one that you're interacting with, and then there's like this, if you don't live in that world, you're kind of like, what is the title and escrow? Like, what exactly are they? Is their role in this? Or
Yeah.
you got to get the lender, you got to get, all these different things, but that's kind of where everything comes together and actually gets pushed across the finish line is kind of the area that most people don't really know a whole lot about, of like what's actually going on there.
Well, and if we're doing a good job, we hope they don't know about it, right?
Yeah,
They're like,
that's
oh,
fair.
I just showed up, signed papers, it was an easy done deal, and I feel like when the buyers and sellers start to realize who a title company is, it's because like what's going on.
Yeah.
And we don't like that.
For sure.
no,
Would rather
it's a-
fly under the radar and just have it be nice and smooth.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. Interesting.
You know, it's crazy. You guys are regulated pretty heavy. I mean, like for instance, if I want to take a client out, I can do whatever I want, really, right? As far as
Right.
buying things, and you guys are even regulated to what you can offer for buying or advertising or anything like that too.
Yeah, we can't do a lot.
Yeah.
We're capped on what we can spend per person per day. We're
Is that because of your insurance?
yeah, it's a funny story. So we regulate ourselves in a way, right?
Yeah.
We have the Idaho Land Title Association, and so we put these regs in place because I'm the smaller local title company. There's I think 3 of us left that are locally owned title companies, and the big national guys, they Fortune 500, they got the money, right? And so if we don't have these rules, they'd be, hey Spencer, what do you say we go to Vegas this weekend? All on us. Just send us your deals for the year.
Yeah.
And then I am a little guy. I'm like, I can't afford
Can't
to
compete,
take
yeah.
Spencer to Vegas, and so that's why we put these rules in place so that we can't buy each other out of business.
Gotcha. So
Hey.
it's mostly to protect against the whining and dining the realtors.
Correct. Or by buying them gifts or
Yeah.
providing them information that costs money that,
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got one of my best friends is in insurance and, home, auto, commercial, life, whatever. But we've my other buddy Quinn and I have asked, have like, why don't you just do X, Y, and Z? And he's like, no, you can't do that. Yeah. There's a lot of rules about how
No
we
limit in the
can
gray.
market.
hey, I'll
and-
give you
yeah.
$500 for every deal you send me. Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why they
Not
don't
allowed.
do that.
Yeah.
What do you mean? I take cash. What are you
Yeah.
talking about? Just kidding.
Get some of that grape spindrift.
Right.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I mean, it is Wednesday.
Got to keep us hydrated,
It
right?
is Wednesday. Hump day. You got to get a grape spindrift.
So you said you're one of the 3 local. So what does it look like for Empire then for future growth?
So we're building out another title plant. So how it works too in Idaho is county specific. So we have to update we call it a plant because back in the day, title was a big production. You had
Yeah.
so many more people doing it. It was analog, it was paper. It was like a production plant. You'd have people typing, people printing, people searching.
Yep.
But basically, it's just an indexed library of all of the documents back to land patent when the government owned it, and every subsequential change of ownership and split of the property. And so to be licensed, it's per county. And so to get into another county, you have to have access back to land patent, searchable, all of that, which we're building out. Our plan is to build out a county a year. It's expensive. It takes time. So that's one thing that we're going to do to grow.
Yeah.
And the other thing is continue to be who we are, that high service level, smaller boutique company that when we build that relationship, we have really strong relationships, customers that have been loyal for 15 years or more. So,
Yeah. Well, it brings up a good point. I mean, we can use any title company that we want. You're limited on any marketing and the type of stuff you can do. So it really does come down to relationships, but also doing it right, with all the different details and ultimately making it easier for everybody involved. And I know you're using a lot of technology, AI, and different things to that ability too, right?
Yeah. And I think what sets us apart, being the size we are, we're not national. We don't have the black and white, cut and dry, yes and no, this is protocol. We have those in place, but I feel like our motto is we solve problems.
Yeah.
Like if something is outside the box, what's the solution? Not no.
Yeah.
Can move a little more nimbly
than
some of those bigger companies. Well, yeah, I guess Spencer, for you, like what on the realtor side, I would imagine you've worked with a variety of title companies.
I have.
What matters to you as a realtor in a title company? Like, what are you looking for?
We just got to take care of the client. I think that's the biggest thing. I think just anything we do, it's being proactive, not reactive, and letting the customer know what's happening. Because it's and to me, real estate has always been kind of archaic in the sense of the process, in my opinion. Like we go through this whole transaction that's typically a 30-day transaction, and a lot of it takes place on the last week of the transaction, even the last 3 days, 2 days, day.
Yeah. Yep.
And it's like so it provides a lot of pressure to you, especially if you're doing, so many transactions on a monthly basis. I get it. It's just more about just trying to prep the client, making sure they get what they need, and having everything ahead of the game as much as possible. It's process and procedure. It's systems.
Yeah. Is it the buyers choose the title company?
No, I mean, if they have a
like,
relationship with it, but typically it's the agents that have that ability to do that, right? A client comes to you, and a lot of people don't know that unless they have a relationship with someone.
Yeah.
They just trust you in that process of like, who do you have and what team do you have built around you? So a lot of times it is the agent that kind of dictates that. And it could be the buyer's agent or the listing agent, depending on the scenario and how it gets structured.
Yeah.
So
do you, as an agent, I'm not trying to interview Spencer here, but I'm just curious, like, like you as the agent, you're going through a transaction, like, do you have like you use these guys typically, or do you even? Does it depend on the transaction? Like, are you using a variety
sometimes you don't have that
of title
ability,
companies?
right? Like the listing agent, if I'm a buying agent, they might say, hey, we opened escrow with this company.
Oh, okay,
we
so
want to utilize that. So it depends on how the negotiation goes. But yeah, I mean, there's been times with Kris where there's conversations like, hey, this is the escrow officer I want to use. Because remember, that's the last thing, unless the agent's going to be there, that the client remembers. So when they're signing those documents and going through that process, it's like, how do you make that a good experience when you're signing papers and there's a lot of stress that's happening? So having someone not only that has a good team to communicate with the clients and communicate with the realtors and everybody that's involved with the transaction is important. But at that end, like, how do you make that a good experience so it's something they remember? Because remember, as a realtor, they will come back to us at the end, right? It doesn't matter how good a transaction was through that whole process. One thing gets messed up towards the end, it looks bad on us, right? So that's why it's super important to set the expectations, make sure the team's good, communicate ahead of time, because things happen, right? I mean, it's what it is. Things are late, as you said, timing, banks, wires, but it's like letting that client know what that looks like and ultimately protect them, because we have deadlines. If we don't meet those deadlines, then that puts the client at risk. And I think that's the big thing is, if we know something's not going to happen or get in that time, give us the time to make those adjustments or make, any kind of addendums needed in a contract to protect the client. And I think that's the big thing.
Yeah. And I think the reason real estate agents bond with their title company and their escrow officer is because if you've got a higher volume production agent like Spencer, he's got systems and processes in place and ways of communication. And if you learn that about the real estate agent, it just makes it easier and more comfortable because it fits into their process and what they're trying to accomplish for their client. And I think that's why agents tend to get that going with somebody and say, I really want to use these guys, because when I use these other guys, they forget to email my assistant, and they don't upload this, and they don't send me that.
I have to teach them all over again, and it slows down the process. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. Well, and especially across state and just different people they're dealing with, different lenders, all the different things. There's a lot of moving pieces that happen. And, it's one of those things, like Kris said, you don't want to be known, and that's the whole thing. You don't want a
Yeah.
phone call. No phone call is a good thing, right? In that sense,
Right.
and things that happen, right, to make sure it's smooth, and especially the volume, right? You do so many transactions. It's a lot of moving pieces.
Yeah, a lot of home inspections, a lot of appraisals, a lot of lender approval letters, a lot of
Oh.
a lot of walkthroughs.
Exactly, all the things.
How many counties are you guys in right now?
Right now, we're in Ada and Canyon County.
Okay.
Yep. We're getting ready to enter into Elmore County. Mayfield developments out there. That micron growth, I think, is a big opportunity. Obviously, from Mountain Home, a lot of roots there of people that I feel like we've got good opportunity with to do some transactions.
Do you find like different counties or have different levels of organization or preparedness as you try to enter into their market? Like, is it because like I have I have businesses in different cities or towns around Boise and counties, and everybody has like their different processes, and some of them are like, come on guys, get with the times, and others are really dialed in on their online systems and things like that. Is it similar for you guys?
It is, yeah. As you go into some smaller counties, right, then
getting information is tougher.
Yeah, and some of the title companies have been in the family for 150 years or whatever, so they've got paper books they're still looking out of. Like Custer County Title, where Stanley is, it's like you get to use them. They're the
one in
title
town.
company in town. Like, how long is it going to take? I don't know. It's deer season, probably a couple weeks.
That brings up a point. Like, do you end up just going and buying a title company that's there and pulling some of their records, or do you create it from scratch? Like, what does that look like?
I think acquisition is the fastest way, and what a lot of our competitors and bigger companies have done. They went out and acquired those smaller companies. We've tried to acquire companies, and it's just you got to get them at the right time when they want to sell. And but yeah, we tried to acquire in Elmore County, couldn't work a deal, so we just said, okay, we'll build it and be here too.
That's crazy. So when's that open up?
Hopefully next month. We're not gonna brick and mortar down there. We're gonna get start getting some transactions in the door, and then and build the brand and the reputation, and then see where that goes. Because Elmore County, it's still not that big, right? And they've got two title companies in that town, and some other ones licensed there. So like, I don't know how much market share I'd have to get yet to warrant bodies and building.
Yeah. What's like the infrastructure of your company look like? Like, what kind of head count are we talking about in terms of the people you're leading?
So right now we're at 32 people. We've got 3 offices, one in Meridian, one out by the Idaho Center in Nampa, and then one in Eagle. I feel like that pretty much services the valley. Yeah. And then we have a spot in the Zions Bank building down here for signings if we need to service somebody that wants to sign or needs to sign downtown. I just did a signing for a guy that doesn't have a car. He lives downtown, works downtown. He has a bike. So like, we'll just go downtown.
Hey, you got a good coffee machine down there?
Down at the Zions Bank building? No, that's the one we don't have. All the other offices are set.
Good coffee machines.
Well, but it's about having a good experience, right? It's the last thing that people do before they get their keys and they move in their house. So snacks, coffee, whatever it might be. I know it seems small, but hey.
Yeah, we one of our things, we just want to have a really warm feel when people walk in. So design the offices that way. The front desk people that we hire are trained and to be warm and inviting. And we have the full coffee bar. Almost every title company does now, as far as I know. But everybody just want. Yeah, I think it's, hey, where's my latte?
We don't want no Keurig. Get that out of here.
Keurig,
get that thing out of the wall. Throw it against it.
That's funny.
Front desk / baristas.
I know, right? That is a multi-fact, but in any business, and Kasey, I mean, you have employees that are customer facing. That's your first line. I mean, that sets the tone for your business and who you are as a company, and I think it's really important.
Yeah.
No doubt. Yeah, they're the face of the brand, right? Yeah, it just takes one bad interaction for someone to write you off, right? And say. You're like, no, that's not representative of who we are. You got one person on a bad day.
I know you do not get it, and it's competitive. Our market is very competitive. I feel like people here are lucky. My competitors are all really good. I don't know. I wouldn't say and dog them and say one of them is horrible. They've got good people. Everybody has a high level of service. We all are, we're all raising the bar here to earn the business, and our pricing is so similar. It's all regulated, and so that's the thing. It's like, can't
How do you
compete
compete?
on price. You got to compete
little
on
things.
Experience.
Yeah, what's that differentiator of your company?
When did Empire start?
Well, so I went and worked at Lawyers Title, and then when the recession hit, a company bought Lawyers Title because they were struggling, and they were a big foreclosure-based law firm and foreclosure trustee services. So they bought it, and then they changed that into Next Title, and then I went to work for Next Title to run that as the state manager, and we did so well that the owners promoted me to CEO of the company nationally. And nothing bad to say about him. We just had total business philosophy differences. I feel like take care of your people and the business will come, and their philosophy was cut as much cost as you can and you'll make more money.
Yeah.
So we had an opportunity. There was someone interested in buying Next Title Idaho, and I met with them, and they said they great guys. They wanted a partner, and we bought it in 2019 and been Empire. And if I have anything to say about it, it'll be Empire for a long, long, long time.
Yeah.
Building they will
That's
come.
Awesome. Yeah. So that's awesome. Yeah. Cause I was thinking it was a newer,
Yeah.
I mean, now it's been 7 years, I guess, if it was 2019, but
yeah, it was nice to drop the Next Title name. There, a lot of association with foreclosures, right? And people don't like dealing with companies that are a part of taking houses away or even when they were buying the foreclosures, man, dealing with HUD, title companies looked like they didn't know what they were doing. It's like we can only do what we can do with the government. So
yeah.
Well, with all the regulation you have, like when it comes to this business in general, like the bar to entry for a realtor is pretty low, right? Taking the test and getting in. Same with inspectors. Lenders obviously going to have some experience there. What about like title officers, like escrow officers? Is there a license they have to have? Outside of just obviously the training they're going to need to make happen.
Yeah, and that's one thing I would like to see, some licensing. Like I said, I feel like we have really good escrow officers in the Valley because it's a training process, and an escrow officer can really mess up and cost the company a lot of money.
Yeah.
So that it's important to have them well trained. Title officers, they're a dying breed, and we need more of them. They're researching and they're writing the exceptions on the policy, and they've got to understand what they're looking for. They're doing this research all day long, and they get better and better at it. And like the commercial stuff or big pieces of land, it takes a unique skill set. And so, we're trying to train up some title people, but there's no. Let's go to title officer school.
Let's make it happen.
Go 4-degree in title searching.
Do you find that it's typical, like is there a somewhat of a revolving door? Like, is it mostly people like kind of jump from like lending into title or title into lending and things like that? Or are people coming from completely different industries and then kind of landing in title and escrow?
Yeah, I think most people honestly find it by chance or by accident. They get a job as a front desk person and they are really good and they get promoted and then they're good at escrow, kind of like my path. And then they go, hey, I want to build a desk and be an officer. There's definitely, I think, in lending and real estate, there's a lot of moving around. People get their book of business, as you call it, or their client base, and then another company goes, hey, I would like your client base. Here's a whole lot more money and we'll make life better for you. And so people just tend to move around. And I've recruited, I've had people recruited away from my company. And so, there's a lot of that in our business.
Yeah. I think I've kind of sensed that just from doing this podcast with Spencer. We've had a variety of people on from a variety of industries, but we've definitely had lenders and realtors and
bankers too.
folks, and
bankers,
so
I
bankers
see them,
definitely move
I see
around.
all those guys moving around.
Yeah. It's hard to keep them around, I imagine.
I honestly think, because I do a lot in the business community, I think that's just a challenge, honestly, in all businesses.
Yeah.
There's, my dad worked for the same company for 30 years, put up a lot of crap, man, and just kept doing his job, and it was stable, and he got his pension, his 401k, retired, all that. And I think like it's getting more like there's no loyalty. There's no, it's just, what can I do to better myself? And that's a challenge as a business owner and leader, is keeping employees engaged and staying there.
Yeah.
The good ones, at least, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, no.
You have the opposite sometimes where you're like, hey, what are your plans?
Yeah, I know.
But Kris, you said you knew a lot of people, which you do, right? You grew up here and now you have a business here. It kind of does go to why we started this podcast, right? With Rooted in Idaho, like knowing the people that are here that make this place great. What have you noticed a lot, as you've seen it grow on just your business and how people support you, and why Boise, kind of the surrounding area, is an awesome place?
Yeah. Well, when I was younger, I feel like this was definitely good old boys place. Like you had the main guys in town that owned the businesses, owned all the land, owned the stuff, right? And then they kind of new money has been coming in for quite a while. And so it's harder to pinpoint like who those guys are anymore. So that's been a big change. So that I think it's opened up opportunity for so much closed off for other people to get into that circle. And I think like me, when I was younger, I had a group of guys and we were feeling entrepreneurial, right? And we started this club. And we're like, one day we're going to run the businesses. We're going to be those guys. And it's been fun, like, stick it out with those guys. And now they're running banks and they're running restaurants and they're running companies. And I think that's what's nice about the Valley. There's a lot of opportunity here for people.
And still more to come, right? Especially as we grow. It's insane.
Yeah.
You gonna say something, Kasey?
No.
Oh.
I thought that was a good point. The good old boys club.
Yeah. Did you notice that a lot growing up at all?
I think I was maybe a little too young to recognize that, but saying, as you said that, I was like, yeah, I mean, even as a small example, so we own a restaurant and we bought a liquor license for it, and like that was, that is a have and have not kind of a small example of like you had the good old boys club of the people that had liquor licenses, and then you have everyone else on the outside looking in,
and they were
on the waiting list
to keep the liquor licenses low and keeping people out. And,
because it's an asset, right? And so, just as a small example, I was like, oh no, there definitely were the families that you're like, oh, that's the Albertsons family, right? Or that's the not to call it the Albertsons family. I mean, good people, but you definitely had more of that concentrated wealth, power, control of the Valley, and it definitely has spread out. I mean, even now, like drive to any pocket of the Valley, and you have these just beautiful homes and things, and I think like, who owns all these? Like where's all this money coming from? Like there's these insane homes.
I do the escrows on them. Like
like there's just every neighborhood has just.
So they're wiring $6.5 million cash to buy this house.
Like
wow.
Where is this coming from? Like who are these people? Because I think when you're just out and about living in the city, you're not seeing these flashy displays of like that wealth, right? And I think that's an interesting thing about Boise. Like I can't remember who I was talking to recently, and we were talking about that of like how much wealth and money has come into the Valley, but it's very understated. It's like people are coming here that have that money because they don't want to be super public about it, right? They have their private jet and they have their $10 million home in the foothills or whatever, but it's like you would not, if you ran into them in downtown Boise, like you would have no sense that, oh, this person is, balling out of control, right? And I think that is one really cool thing about this Valley, is that there is this sense of like we're all on sort of an even playing field. Like everybody is still, regardless of what their class is, very kind and generous and welcoming to everybody else that they encounter. Like you don't feel like there's this divide.
Or this, I have this and you don't.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out what celebrities have moved here. I think, did Post Malone move here? Did you close with him? Did you have to sign an NDA?
I can't talk about
Breaking news. Breaking news.
I want to know.
There were those rumors. Yeah,
no, there's tons, but no,
I don't think he was gonna move here. I think he was buying a place here,
buying a property here. Yeah,
no, it's nuts. But you talk about the wealth. I remember, gosh, even 6-7 years ago, like a $750,000 house in Eagle was like
Insanity.
What
yeah.
is
I
happening
think
here?
it was 99, may have been 98. I think it was 99, and we got a contract over, and it was the first home over $1 million.
Oh,
And we were like, "You got $1 million home? Oh my gosh! We got to. What does this house look like?
Yeah.
You know?"
let's go.
And so I was I had to go get some doc sign, a check delivered over there as they're finishing building it. And I was like, I'm gonna take it. Can I take the check? So I went over there. I'm like, copper, all this. It was this massive giant house on the lake down the river in Eagle, and it's just nuts now that like the $1 million doesn't buy you that, but it still buys you a really nice
Still
house.
buys you a really nice
It
house.
does,
Yeah.
it does.
Still
Not
does buy you
that.
a
in
really
a
nice
great
house.
community.
I feel like
Yeah.
$1 million in Eagle now
I
is
think
pretty
that
standard.
house is like 10 million today, probably if it was
Good investment.
Yeah.
One day. Good. Well, awesome. Well, Kris, thanks for coming on the podcast today. I appreciate it.
No, thanks for having me as a guest. I know title insurance isn't probably the most exciting topic, but
No, this is
Hey,
gonna be our number one episode.
we're
yeah.
part
Let's
of the
go.
economy, right?
Absolutely.
Hey, we're bringing title back. We're, making
rooted-
it sexy.
We're rooted.
Let's go.
He's, yeah, heck yeah.
make title great again.
Yeah, great.
That's awesome. Well, if people want to find out a little bit more about Empire, or they want to become a title officer,
Right,
learn the
let's go.
process, like where can they like learn more about Empire and maybe
EmpireTitleIdaho.com.
Okay.
right on.
Yeah.
Coming to Elmore County soon.
Yeah, that's right.
Currently in
Yeah.
Ada and Canyon County. Heck yeah. Thanks, Kris.
All right,
Yeah,
Kris.
thanks,
Appreciate it.
guys.
All right,
Appreciate
have a
it.
good
Yeah.
one.